Thank you, Speaker. I welcome the opportunity to contribute to the debate on the Water Management Amendment Register of State and Commonwealth Water Access Licences Bill 2025, which was introduced by the member for Murray. And I thank the member for Murray for bringing this bill for the House and recognising that this bill is supported by the Liberals and Nationals. And I want to also take the opportunity to thank the Shadow Minister for Water for her efforts as well. I've certainly welcomed the opportunity to be in this chamber and listen to some of the contributions that have been made, and certainly by those who have perhaps had more of a touch point with water than many of our other colleagues. And there's certainly been a various number of aspects of the water debate that have formed part of the contributions here. I'll take the liberty in that regard, just going through the 2026 Murray-Darling Basin Plan Review, which was released yesterday. One part that struck me that I just want to raise and is that the point that is made in this discussion paper that targeted solutions are needed. And this paper says that after more than a decade of implementing the Basin Plan, it is now clear that achieving the plan's environmental outcomes need targeted local and regional solutions to address persistent challenges. And they cite various examples of that: addressing floodplain and wetland disconnection from rivers, protecting base flows and low flows in the Barwon Darling, addressing barriers to native fish recovery and restoring habitats. And Speaker, I suppose in that sense, I just dwell on the final concluding remarks for the member for Cessnock there, and he said that this bill, and part of the reason why the government's perhaps opposing this bill, is because it's not addressing the bigger problems, that it, as he said, that perhaps doesn't answer, that doesn't explore some of the challenges with water sharing plans and water storages. That was some of the contribution that we just heard there. But this is the point. This is a specific bill looking at one specific element when we look at governance around water. At the core of this bill, it deals with a very practical problem in our water management framework, and that is the absence of a clear, accessible and comprehensive public record of water access licences held by governments themselves. Under the current system, Division 3A of the Water Management Act 2000 provides for a water access licence register. We get that. That register contains detailed information about privately held licences and is used every day by irrigators, lenders, regulators and markets. But when it comes to water held by the state or the Commonwealth, including environmental water, rules-based water and special access licences, the information is fragmented, inconsistent and often inaccessible. This bill addresses that gap directly. It would require the Minister to publish and maintain an online register of state and Commonwealth held water access licences located within a single departmental area and presented in a way that is easy to find and easy to understand. Importantly, the bill is not vague about what must be disclosed. For each licence, the register must include the holder or representative, the licence number, the share component and water source, whether the water is available, committed or taken and for what purpose, any related government-funded program or activity, and any dealings in relation to that licence. That level of detail matters. It allows farmers, communities and Parliament to see how much water governments hold, where it comes from, how it is being used and how it is traded. Information that is currently scattered across agencies or not publicly available at all. Speaker, this is not about ideology. It is about equal standards. Irrigators are required to meter their water, report their use and comply with complex trading and compliance rules. They face penalties if they get it wrong. It is entirely reasonable that governments holding large volumes of water should meet the same transparency standard. This bill does not remove water from the environment. It does not change sustainable diversion limits. It does not alter water sharing plans. What it does is shine a light on government-held water, and that is essential for good governance. It also matters because water is progressively being removed from the consumptive pool through buybacks, rule changes, intergovernmental agreements and special access licences. Those changes, Speaker, have real consequences: reduced allocation reliability, higher prices and greater uncertainty for producers trying to plan ahead. There is a clear public interest in being able to track those impacts accurately. Speaker, water access licences are recognised as a form of property right. They underpin farm investment, business lending and long-term planning across regional New South Wales. When governments acquire water, reassign it or remove it from the consumptive pool through buybacks, rule changes or special access arrangements, there is a legitimate expectation that this occurs transparently and on fair terms. This bill does not seek to adjudicate compensation or rewrite water policy, but it does establish the minimum condition for fairness that people can see what has been acquired, where it is held, and how it is used. Without that transparency, confidence in the security of water rights erodes, investment stalls, and regional communities are left carrying uncertainty they did not create. Speaker, transparency is not anti-environment. Transparency is pro-confidence. One of the recurring themes in water policy over the past decade has been declining trust. Trust that rules are applied consistently, trust that decisions are evidence-based, and trust that governments are accountable for the same things they regulate. This bill is a sensible and proportionate response to that challenge. I also support the Coalition's intention to move amendments to strengthen the bill. Publishing a register is an important first step, but parliamentary reporting ensures that transparency leads to scrutiny, not just data sitting online. That kind of oversight helps rebuild confidence, not just among irrigators, but across regional communities who feel locked out of decisions that affect their livelihoods. And I go on to say it improves confidence for all communities when we are talking about the Murray-Darling Basin. Speaker, this legislation will not solve every issue in water management. And I get returned to the member for Cessnock's contribution. It is not the intent of this bill to respond to and solve every issue in water management. Was never the intent of the member for Murray on this bill. But it does close a clear gap in accountability, and it does so in a way that is fair, practical, and consistent with the principles of good governance. For those reasons, I commend the member for Murray for bringing this bill, and I support its passage and the Coalition amendments.